If you could sit down with President Biden and tell him one thing, what would you tell the president?
Do you know what flavor Jell-O you're having tonight?
If you were to have a substantive question for him, what would it be?
Do you have enough Jell-O for both of us?
You win. If you could tell President Biden one thing, if he were standing here and he said, "Sir, you got one question," what would you ask him?
I'd ask him, where is he right now? Because I don't think the guy even knows where he's at. He doesn't even.
If you could say something to Joe Biden, productive, not "Let's go, Brandon," right? What would you tell the president?
Well, I would ask him to step down. He really has done nothing. He's not capable of doing anything. He shouldn't be there at all. I don't think he's even really running anything anyway. Somebody else is.
Who could be running the country?
Oh, maybe a previous president.
If Joe Biden were here, President Biden were here, and he walked up to you, he probably wouldn't like the shirt. But if he said, ask me any question you want, what would you ask the president?
Probably ask why he's still in office. I don't think he's mentally fit to be president in the first place. I do feel like we're kind of a laughing stock right now for the rest of the world leaders. Definitely should be mentally fit for the job. I don't think that's the case. So
there are a lot of people, because I cover both sides, and there are people on the other side who said we were laughing stock because of President Trump. Well, what do you say to those people?
You need a strong leader to make a country stand out. We are one of the largest economy in the world, so you do need a strong leader to push that forward. We can't be getting walked on by our competitors, per se, like China. So kind of anytime you watch the news, you see him missing his doors when he's walking through the lawn. It doesn't give a good vibe. So Trump stands on stage. You get what he says. What he says he's going to do, he doesn't backpedal on that. You don't have to worry about him saying one thing and doing another, because he talks the talk and he walks the walk as well. So
let's talk about President Biden for just a moment. If he were here and you could ask him one question, what would you ask President Biden?
I'd say, who's really pulling your strings? Simple as that. And then he'd probably mumble an answer back if he even looked back at all. But
if President Biden were here right now and you could ask him one question, what question would you ask the president?
The president, that's a freaking really crazy question. There's a whole bunch.
You only get one question. That's the rule.
He's messed up so much. He's not for the people. He's not for the people at all. And I would ask him, why do you think you are for the people? What have you done for the people? You haven't done nothing for the people.
And ma'am, what would you ask the president if he were here?
I would ask him, why would you be president on everything that you're doing right now? Everything that you have done? Come on.
If you could talk to President Biden, you could ask him one question. What would you ask him in regards to how you feel?
I could ask him what is he thinking, but he doesn't know what he's thinking.
But about an issue, a substantive issue.
Well, I'd ask him about how opening the border really helps in doing it without proper channels and doing it legally.
Do you think he wants to open the borders?
He's already proven that. He's done it.
Well, I mean, if the borders were open in point of fact, then...
He never closed them. He never went forward to help close them at all.
But there are all these people on the other side clamoring to get in who are being kept out, so they're not open.
They have the right to come in if they do it legally, but if they're not going to be legal, they don't need to be here.
If President Biden were here and he walked up to you right now and he said, you can ask me one question, what question would you ask the president?
Oh, my God. What are you thinking on how you're running this country? I believe that when Trump was in office back in 2016, he won. One of his things was immigration, stop the immigration, let's build defense, build a wall. I think he was doing a great job at that. And once Biden stepped in, he took away probably 80-90% of what Trump had done as far as the immigration, building the wall, and what have you.
President Biden walked up to you right now, and you could ask him any one question. What would you ask the president?
What are you doing? I mean, I just don't know. I guess I don't know. I mean, it's time to step aside, let someone else come in there and take over. I guess it's kind of a scary time where we are right now. So, yeah.
If you could ask Joe Biden one question, if he was standing right here and said, "Sir, how are you today?" Ask me any question. What would you ask him?